Hi, I'm Rebecca. Welcome to my sewing room. This is Sophia. Welcome if this is your first time here, and welcome back if you've been here before. Thank you for coming. Today I am starting on my fall winter wardrobe. I have about 19 or 20 pieces that I will be making in my wardrobe. Many of them are multiples, so I have 7 different patterns that I'll be using for my wardrobe. Some of them are patterns that I've already used, so there's previous videos, so I won't be doing all of that. But the ones that are new patterns, I will be recording at least one version of them. So today, to start off, I'm using a bunch of patterns because I've recently been making a lot of my own patterns, and that is a lot. I am not the best at it, so it can get overwhelming pretty quickly. So right now, I want to get some clothes together pretty quick that I can wear all fall and winter, while I'm making some of my more fun personally designed stuff. So I will be doing a whole bunch of ready-made patterns, mostly like New Look or Simplicity, or like the big pattern makers. And so anyways, today I'm starting with a dress. It is New Look N6765. Just a comfortable knit dress. Today I'm making view B, so I'll be making the longer one. And I like to do that because I do like something longer in the winter when it's cold. I do wear tights, but it still gets cold when all you're wearing is tights. Even the fleece lined ones can still be cold. So I do like the longer dresses. We just recently had a girls trip to Ohio, a little Amish town in Ohio, and there was a fabric store, a fabric outlet there. They had some really nice fabrics for a really good price. Nothing was actually too expensive. I didn't spend a ton of money there, but I did find a really cool looking knit that was actually in their clearance section, so I got some extra fabric of that one. Most of them I got 2 to 3 yards, but I got 4 yards of the clearance fabric because it was $1.99 a yard, and it is the fabric, I gotta find the right end of it, it's the fabric that I'm using to make this dress. What is this fabric? It's just a really nice knit, nice stretchy, very soft. It reminds me of like butter leggings, which are just really soft leggings. It's a very soft knit. It's kind of thin, but that's okay because it'll be good with a sweater and leggings or tights underneath it. So that's what I'm doing. I have my pattern pieces all traced, cut out, ready to go in my size. This pattern is measured a little bit differently. I cut out the same size I usually cut out, which is a size 18, and usually that bust is between 40 and 42. This is a bust 40, and then I also don't have the final garment measurements for the bust, but because it's a stretchy knit, even if it's a little bit smaller than what they expect the pattern to be, it'll still stretch good enough to fit. So I'm not worried about the fit at all. And I feel the same that way for the whole dress, except there is a measurement for the hip. No, sorry, I lied. There's not even a measurement for the hip. So hopefully that will glide over it enough. And we'll see. I'm not really too worried about it. I'm not worried about it. It's fine. So I'm going to go ahead. I already have all of my pattern pieces cut and ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and pin those to my fabric and cut out my fabric pieces, and then I'll be back and we will get started on making this dress. I have all of my pieces cut out. It's a five pattern piece dress, so it's actually quite easy. There's a front piece and a back piece. Both of those are cut on the fold. And then there's side front and side back. There's obviously two of each of those. If you noticed, where's my envelope? So this is a princess seamed dress. So where the front side connects to the front and the back side connects to the back, the pattern says to stay stitch. I think it's the step, yep, stay stitch your princess seams, but then also double stitch those seams when you put them on. I'm pretty sure that just double stitching those seams is going to be enough to keep them in shape. So that's what I'm going to do. I am going to skip stitching at this stage. Also, another thing that I didn't mention before, one of the notions is seam binding, and I wasn't quite sure what that was, so I looked it up, and it looks like it's like a bias binding, but all they're doing is having you stitch it and then like stitch the shoulder seam and then stitch the shoulder seam and then stitch the seam binding to that. Basically, it looks like to reinforce the seam, and then you also stitch the front to the back at the shoulder seams, and that's it. It doesn't actually bind your seams. It looks like it's just there to reinforce it. So instead of actual seam binding or bias tape, which is what I found when I looked it all up, I went ahead and cut pieces for my shoulders. I just realized I cut 4, I only need 2. Anyways, because it only goes on the back, not the front. So I cut pieces for my shoulders to go ahead and just reinforce them, make it a little bit thicker right there with this, so that it's still soft and smooth and everything on the inside. Also, the pattern does not have pockets, but I absolutely love pockets in my clothes, so I am going to be adding side seam pockets at the very least to hold my phone and my keys when I don't want to hold it myself. So those are the two differences I think I'm making. If I remember correctly, let me look. I think it says to do bias binding for the neck. It does. And I think instead of a bias binding, I will be cutting some fabric and making my own neckband and just doing that as I would on a regular shirt, or I would still bind it with just the fabric itself and make my own binding, probably not on the bias. So that's what I will be doing. So my first step is to attach the sides to the front and the back. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'm gonna double stitch all of those princess seams, and then I will be back to show you the next step. The next step for my dress is to attach my seam binding, so just my reinforcer for my seams, on my back shoulder seams, and then attach the it actually has me do it in multiple steps. I was supposed to do the front, and then I was supposed to attach the seam binding to the shoulder seams, and then attach the back to the side back pieces, but I have the side front and the side back all attached to the front and the back, so I'm doing it a little bit out of order. So the next thing I do need to do is attach the seam bindings to the back shoulders, and then we need to attach the front to the back at side seams. I also have my pockets cut out and marked, so as I am attaching, doing the side seams, sewing up those side seams together, I will also be attaching and sewing up the pockets. Let me double check. This seems to be just too easy. I also have to double stitch the side seams, it says. So I will be doing that, and then I will be back You can't see the bottom of it right now. I'll probably angle you down so you can. But as I try it on for fitting, I do really like how it fits. However, my pockets are right here, and the top of them is here. And I would like this a little bit more fitted. So I'm going to take above the pockets, I'm going to take it in a 1/2 inch on the side seams at each side. And then it should fit just literally the exact same way I want it to. It's going to be really comfortable. So once I do that, then my next step will be putting in the sleeves, and it's set in sleeves. It's the exact same way we do it. Gather the top so that we can pull those tight and line it all up. Not tight. So that we can gather it up and not have all that excess in the sleeve. I think there's actually not. There might not be any excess in that sleeve at all. But I do know that it has you add some gathering stitches. So here is the bottom. Yes, it looks goofy with my socks and slippers, but this is the bottom, and it goes almost all the way down to the ground in the back. So with a 1-inch hem, it'll shorten it just enough so it's not hitting the ground. So I'm gonna go ahead and take in my side seams above my pocket, and then I will put in my sleeves, and you will see the finished product up next. So I had said that the next time you would see me would be when I had a finished product, but I forgot that instead of just hemming everything, I haven't finished my neckline, and I am not doing the neckline the way it says with a regular bias tape. I have a 30-inch strip of the fabric. It's not a bias cut because it's very, very stretchy already. My neckline is 35 inches actually. So I cut 30 inches, and I'm going to go ahead and attach this as you would a bias tape, but I am also going to stretch it just like you would like a neckband. I've never done something like this before, so we will see how that works out. But that's the concept of what I am going for. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I will be back and hopefully show you the finished product. Thank you for coming and watching my video this week. I absolutely love this pattern. This is one of the most comfortable dresses I think I've ever made. I've already made a second one, and I've modified the pattern. I didn't record that, but you will see that eventually. I will be using this pattern to make quite a few more because I do really, really like it that much. With a modification of the full maxi instead of the high-low, it's a really warm dress. It keeps out, for the most part, any of the breeze, and I love the way it flows around my legs, and I can do anything I want to in it because it moves, it stretches, and all around it's really good. So that's really all I have. I am completely happy with this dress, and I will be making more. So thank you for watching. Come back next time. If you liked this video, go ahead and hit that like button. And if you want to see more of my videos, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Thank you. See you next week.